Welcome to Trade Pro. In this video, we're going to find out whether or not you can be profitable trading with no real strategy. Is using simply a good risk to reward ratio enough to be profitable when you have a very seemingly random entry criteria to enter your positions? Can you actually be profitable as long as you're using a good risk to reward ratio? That's what we're here to find out. I'm going to test it 100 times in a row. So let's get into how I'm going to be determining what the trade entries are going to be for this test. The trade entries for this test are going to be based purely on the first candle close of the London session. So a green candle close on the 15-minute time frame is going to be a long entry, and a red candle close is going to be a short entry. I'm going to use an ATR stop loss indicator with the settings right here, and this is going to be where the stop loss is placed. So here's an example of what I'm actually going to be testing. We get a long entry on this green candle close right here, place the stop loss to the stop loss indicator, and targeting 2 times the risk. All right. So then over here, we get a red candle for the first candle close and placing our stop loss to the stop loss indicator, targeting 2 times the risk. It's really that simple. And we're going to see if using a seemingly random way of taking an entry just based purely on a candle close color and using a decent risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2, is that enough to actually be profitable? Let's see. Before I get into the 100 tests, I want to give a little life update for my regular followers wondering why I haven't uploaded in a little over a week now. And the long story short is I've had a lot of travel issues. So on May 5th, I was supposed to travel from Seattle, Washington to the Philippines for my move, and I was going to spend who knows how long in the Philippines. But the issue was I got denied entry. So went from Seattle to San Francisco, where I was supposed to catch my connecting flight to go to the Philippines, and I was not allowed onto that flight due to sudden changes in the regulations and rules around COVID and foreign nationals. Essentially, I was denied, and I spent a couple days in San Francisco and decided to go to Costa Rica. So right now I'm in Costa Rica, just because the borders are completely open for tourism and there was no issue getting to Costa Rica. And, now the other issue is that my wife's passport expired or expires in less than 6 months, where they don't let you use it if it expires within 6 months. So she has to get her passport updated before I can actually go to the Philippines now. And yeah, it's just kind of a struggle, and you guys are going to have to bear with me because I don't have my proper computer set up or mic, so my audio quality is probably going to be trash in this video. But anyway, that's where I'm at now. I have no idea how long I'm going to be in Costa Rica for, but it's going to be until I can actually get into the Philippines. And that's going to be determined based on how long it takes my wife to get her passport updated and renewed. And yeah, that's my update. It's kind of a shitty situation, but not that shitty because I'm in Costa Rica and it's pretty nice. So Wi-Fi is terrible here. My connection is extremely slow, so maybe I can find a better Airbnb or hotel with better Wi-Fi connection. But yeah, it's kind of a struggle without my proper computer setup. I'm not used to using a little laptop, so it's definitely different for me, and we will see where things go. But the content is going to be pretty limited for the time being, just because I don't have my proper setup and my Wi-Fi connection is completely horrible and slow. So bear with me. Going to be back to full force content in the near future as soon as I get settled in the Philippines, and I just don't know when that's going to be. So sorry guys. Now I'll get into the 100 tests. I think that's pretty good for the update. results are in after the 100 tests, and I think this does prove a valuable lesson of using a good risk to reward ratio, because it still was able to pull a profit, and it actually isn't even close to the worst strategy I've tested. There are a lot worse strategies that I've tested, and I'll show you on the spreadsheet where it falls in just a sec. But quickly going over the results here, this was done on euro against the US dollar using a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio on the 15-minute time frame, and of course it took 100 days for those 100 signals, because I was using the beginning of the London session's first candle close to get each of the entries. There were 37 winners and 63 losses, with the most wins in a row being 5 and the most losses in a row being 13. The gain on the account was 11%. So it was still profitable, and even after fees, likely will still pull a small profit. So let's check out the spreadsheet and see where it falls on there, and show all the other strategies that performed even worse than this, even though this strategy isn't much of a strategy at all. Okay, here it is on the spreadsheet, falling at spot number 52. And the really cool thing about this is how many strategy tests were much worse than this one. And it just goes to show that the main important thing is sticking with your strategy, using a good risk reward ratio, good risk management, and you can be profitable. It's not super complicated. You don't need to have a magic strategy. So many strategies work and are profitable. So I don't care what strategy you choose to use. What I do care about is that you stick with it, don't break your rules, and don't get emotional when you take losing streaks. How many people out there who have actually taken a strategy, tested it 1,000, 2,000 times, and then taken it to a live account and actually traded it 100 times in a row without ever breaking the rules of their strategy or changing strategies or messing with it in some way? If you just stick with your strategy and keep trading it over and over again, you will very likely be a profitable trader. So I think that, as I always have tried to preach, the most important thing is actually not breaking the rules of your strategy, sticking with it for the long haul, and giving it a chance to work, as I've shown on the FTMO challenge account and the small account challenge as well, and also the 8-hour Bitcoin trading session. If you just stick with something and just trade it over and over again, you can be profitable. And it's very simple. It is difficult to control your emotion, and it takes years of practice till you can learn to control yourself so that you can actually stick with a strategy and not break the rules of it for enough trades in a row. But anyway, I think even though this is only 100 tests, and obviously that doesn't give us some concrete hard evidence, but it does help to kind of prove the point that I'm trying to make, and what I've always preached on the channel, which is your consistency and discipline, and the fact that it doesn't matter what strategy you're actually using, you can be profitable in many different ways. It's not that hard to have a profitable strategy, but what is hard is to actually stick with it. So you need to train yourself to do so. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I think it's a valuable lesson, even though I'm not giving you like some crazy good strategy in this video. I think it's still a valuable lesson, because this stuff is more important than the strategy itself. Actually sticking with your system, using good risk management, never breaking your rules. Things along those lines are much more important than actually having a strategy that is the best strategy in the world, or something that's been optimized to give you the absolute top tier profit levels for every 100 trades. So anyway, hopefully you get what I'm saying. Important stuff. Have a nice day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and comment for the YouTube algorithm as always. And sorry for the lack of content. Definitely will be back strong once I'm all settled in, and I just don't know when that will be. So I apologize once again. Thank you guys for your support as always. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Have a great day.